The societal benefits, which is another area of benefits, are sometimes quantifiable, sometimes not as easy to quantifiable or put on a bar chart or something. Let's talk a little bit about some of the societal benefits of correctional industries.
Okay. Well, you had mentioned earlier about currently there are 2 million people incarcerated in the United States. And we've heard somewhere between 95–97% return rate to, or coming out of prison. So let's say even if it's just 90%, 90% of these people are going to return back to our streets. Correctional industries affords individuals gaining tools to actually hold a job. We take tax burdens and give them the opportunity to become taxpayers. That is significant. We have someone who's a financial drain become a contributor. As far as making an individual become more employable, think about it as we're helping people go home and stay home. When you have someone who has been incarcerated, who has a family, and many of them have a family, most people have children, and you give them the opportunity to go home, stay home, and provide for their families, the societal impact is hard to even imagine at this point. In Tennessee, we're seeing that we now have the third generation of family members being incarcerated. We have grandfathers, fathers, and sons. And understanding what the significance is to break that cycle, less crime, less victims of crime, the societal impact is significant. And as I said before, starting the multiplying effect is absolutely staggering.
I have a question about the links that you were making between generational incarceration. A lot of it is due to the fact that nowhere in those generations until you break the cycle is somebody provided a role model of somebody with a work ethic or somebody who got up and went to work. And that's where you're breaking the cycle for repeat crime or generational crime in families, isn't it, with the link to work?
Oh, absolutely. And there are segments of our population where crime has become a way of life, work hasn't. And so to give people the tools to be able to be employed, to understand that there is a legal way to make a living to support your family, once again, is staggering. But these next clips are going to talk about a family's impact from both someone on the outside, but also some offenders who have left prison and the impact on their family.
It's so important to train an inmate to be able to succeed on the outside. Most inmates have between 2 and 2.5 kids. So for every inmate who we can turn around, you also may be turning around those children and those potential inmates.
It helped me to learn how to cope in the real world from working for Tri-Court. It helped me work like that during the day, drug-free and in a good environment. It helped me when I got out, and I went and got a job a week after I was released after doing 4 years in prison. I started at a grocery store as a cashier part-time, and I worked my way up from third key to assistant manager to manager now. And now I actually do the hiring and the firing and the book work and everything.
The money that I make here helps me communicate with my family, especially my 4 girls. I call them on a daily basis, at least for 10 minutes a day. And if I didn't have this job, well, I wouldn't be able to call them.
I had done a lot of very bad things when I was on drugs for most of my life. And I have regained my trust with my family. I come from a very supportive family, and at one time, they just wanted to disown me. And I have a better relationship with my family than I've had in 46 years.
Pat, it's pretty clear that these offender success stories give benefits not only to them, but to society as well. And clearly, it's something that we can all relate to as many of us have been victims of crime, and we want to live in safer communities. You've also really well established, I think, the economic benefits. But there's a whole other area of benefit of correctional industries as well, and that is within the correctional system itself in terms of security and economic benefits. Can you talk about that?
Oh, absolutely. And the benefit to a correctional environment is significant. If you think about an institution as a city and the warden as a mayor, their job is to keep balance within the environment, to give people a sense of purpose. And I'd like us to listen now to Warden David Mills, who lives and breathes this every day. I think he can tell us the benefit of it from a correctional setting.
The other piece of that is obviously the industry's operation, you know, picks up their own responsibilities as far as cost. You know, I don't, as an institutional operation, I don't have to bear the cost of their operation, and whether it's utilities or, you know, whatever services, equipment. So, I mean, they pay their own way. You know, the company pays its own way. The inmates help support the company, and the company and the inmates provide support back to the institutional operations. The value of having industries, I can't measure, you know, because it's so valuable to the inmates, so valuable to my security staff, to my programming staff, and, you know, that the more inmates feel valued, you know, and produce and feel proud of what they've done, their behavior is going to be improved.
Let's get real quickly now to the reentry piece, because that's what we're really talking about in this teleconference, is that link between all these great things Correctional Industries is doing and what people in the community are trying to do for reentry. What do you think the part or the role that Correctional Industries plays in the whole reentry process?
And Catherine, this is the part that I think is really exciting, and a main reason for our forum today is to really let people know how critical a role we do play in reentry. You know, the true measure of a correctional industry program success is what these people do when they're on the outside. What we teach them on the inside, can they take it, can they make it work on the outside? We help people to be able to gain employment and to keep employment. Hard skills, soft skills. Some of the soft skills are things that you and I take for granted. Getting up, going to work, earning a living, being a member of a team, understanding what teamwork means, being a part of something that's bigger than yourself. Understanding that there's career pathing. Correctional Industries, we're great at that, career pathing. You start out at one level, what you have to do to get to the next level. I think one of the most significant things also is that self-improvement does not stop when you leave prison, and that's what we teach. It's up to you to make yourself better. When you make yourself better and you're a better employee, good things will happen. But I think as an industry executive that the true testament are the success stories we hear. We all have success stories, and I have one in particular that I'd like to share. An individual on Tri-Corps staff who's responsible for the skill development programs part of our industry found herself on a Saturday with a dryer repairman in her home. And she was watching him do his work, casual conversation, and thought to herself, what great skills training to teach someone. So she started explaining to this individual what she did. She worked at Tri-Corps, Correctional Industries. How did he learn his trade? He turned around and he said, I'm very familiar with Tri-Corps. I worked for Tri-Corps when I was in prison. I spent several years as part of the Tri-Corps program, and this helped me transition from prison back into the community. As a matter of fact, it helped me get my first job with this company, and now I am in a small appliance repair. Within a year, I'll be in large appliance repair. It changed my life. So with that story, I have to say, if you or I or anyone else out there has a chance encounter with an individual who has spent time in prison, don't you want that to be the conversation? Correctional Industries is changing people one individual at a time.